Hello everybody, Christian from Treasure Town here, and today we're going to be speaking about the top 20 misplaced dates in the Indian Head Sense series. These are rare varieties where if you look really closely, you might be able to find a cool, abnormality, we call it variety, that collectors pay up for. So they are pretty valuable. You want to check all of the Indian Head Sense out there for these ones, and this guide is going to show you all of the available misplaced dates that are certified by PCGS or NGC, so really the main ones for the series. But let's get right into the PowerPoint presentation. I've got clear photos with explanations and values, and we'll get right into it. So before we get into the top 20 and then our additional 13 that I have as an appendix to round out anything you could certify at PCGS or NGC, just want to go over what they are. So a misplaced date is when the punch for a date, they would do the digits individually, would end up well away from where it was supposed to be. So it might be in the denticles, sometimes it'll be in the neck or somewhere else, but it's not like a repunch date where they punch one of the digits and it doesn't take, so they punch again close by. These are way off. So we'll see exactly what we're talking about, the 1862, and I'm going to go in chronological order. I do have ones that are like common dates, 1900s or late 1890s, that sort of thing, also in the presentation, but just for ease of chronology, we have what looks like either an 8 or a 6 twice in the bottom of the 1862, and all these are significantly worth more than the regular counterparts. This is a great example, one of my personal favorites, but a strong 0, top of a 0 in the denticles. You can also see a repunch date in the 8 as well. 1870, we see a misplaced date. It's like all over. There's just a huge amount of them, and I think it's one of the most dramatic, like in terms of how many misplaced dates there are here. You can also see nice double die reverse on the back, but that's got to be like 10 punches or something in the denticles. Here we have a really cool misplaced date. Looks like the base of a 1 strongly punched into the neck right above the necklace of the Indian Head Scent. Nice $90 coin as opposed to a 1 or 2 without it. After that, we've got just a strong misplaced date, 1883, but it's easily seen above the denticles. Looks like also you can see an 8. In the appendix is going to be more of the ones where it's purely in the denticles, but when it gets into the field, I like to make a note of it. 1883, there's another misplaced date where I believe it's like either a base of a 3 or something by the ribbon going into the neck, but then there's also that date has what looks like the base of a 1 over here by the necklace. So 1883, crazy stuff going on with those dates. I don't know what was happening at the mint. 1888, we see the base of a 1 right under the ribbon, so it's like a second, it sort of blends into the ribbon. So one of these sold for $375 at auction. Maybe it would be tough to replicate that, but that's a pretty good, compelling reason to take a closer look at any 1888s, and it was found in good 4. So that's a really worn coin where it still appears. There's also this one, when it says VP, it's only certifiable at NGC, and it's not in the Cherry Picker's Guide, so probably lower values, but more potential to find it because people haven't been cherry picking it. But either the top or the base of a 1 strongly punched out of the neck is going to be what we're looking for there. 1890, this is one of the most prominent ones. The top of a 1, like a little spike coming out of the main part of the neck. I think that's a really cool one to have, as is the 1894, where you see a strong top of a 4, as well as a little bit of a curve of a 9 protruding out of the denticles. Then in 1897, we see a 1 right here that is significantly protruding from the neck. Just a really nice sort of little blip there. I think that's probably the most significant one out of all the series, and it costs like $200 in VF20, so definitely a good one to be on the lookout for. There's also the 1898. In the later years, I went with ones in the denticles just because you have a high probability of coming across these types of coins, so you might as well consider these the top ones. Here it's a strong 8 in the denticles. There's also going to be one where the 9, I would have put this one anyways, but sort of protrudes out of the denticles to form like one mega 1, but that's pretty clear right there. And there's also the misplaced date right here. Looks like a little bit of a 1, but then a strong 8. That's a pure variety plus 1. And then we see 1903. Looks like a little bit in the denticles right there. I can't tell if that's also a marking in the 0 and the 3, but that's a purely denticle focused one, and the values on this are a little bit lower. just because it's less dramatic and interesting. 1903 here, this is a more strong one that seems to be just protruding right to the southeast of the 0. 1906, there's one right here. You can see the clear misplaced date. It's also repunched a bit in the top of the 0, so that's probably a better diagnostic to look for. 1908, we see one where it's a clear one in the identical directly to south of the 8, and then over here, same thing, slightly southwest of that main 8 repunching. And now we get to the bonus 13 Indian head cent misplaced dates. I'm going to go through these really quickly. So all in the identicals. Here, 1866 in the identical between the, I think, 8 and 6 or 6 and 6, but there's also a clear double die obverse, as there is with the 1868, where the 6 is going to be pretty clear in the identicals again. Down here, I'm not totally sure. That's why I didn't also include it in the main one, but I think that it's clear in the identicals. This one's a little bit more of a worn example. And then 1872 also has one where it seems like another 8 that looks like it's in the southeast of the main one, though there's also a repunch date attached. And then here, there's a 3 that's punched on the outside of the first bead in the bracelet that goes into the neck, but it looks just maybe like an extra bead. And there's also this one. The lump on the neck is apparently unrelated. They say there's a sideways 7. I can't tell if it's just like right here, but I didn't know. I wasn't able to identify this one that well, but again, away from the sort of traditional identicals where this 1878 one is. That one's actually a pretty nice one. Looks like maybe an 8. Here, there's a misplaced date identicals here, but it's more diagnosable because of the die damage to the shield on the upper reverse. That's more what makes it. Here, this one's being, I don't know if it's, I think it's still going to be listed, but it looks like the bases of the 8s are visible right here and right here in the design, but it's not that visible. And then over here we have another 1888 where it's between the last 2 8s in the identicals, and then 1890 where it's just a clear loop above the 9 or below the 9. And then right here, it's more like a thickness in the 1906, but that one's a little tougher to discern. So that's what we've got. Nice group of misplaced dates, excuse me. I just did the repunched date film before this, but especially the ones that we're looking at right now are really some great candidates to be searching for because there's a little more value premium and would be great to get this 1897 misplaced date in the neck. Thanks for watching the video. I'd encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated. I've also got Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can follow me there. TreasuretownYT.com is the main channel website. Definitely give that a visit. I've got a lot of information about me up there and the channel. CoinGrabBag.com as well currently redirects there, but it's some good opportunities for very fair grab bags, both made by me and other sellers. A lot of different options, so that's a good way to support. There's also TreasuretownCoins.com. In the future, my coin dealing operation will be done out of that website. CoinMeltPrice.com for updates on the melt prices of your coins, both US and world. A lot of resources in that website. And then CoinsMetalsCards.com being developed right now as a marketplace and news source for coins, metals, cards, and collectibles in general. So I'll see you on my future videos. Looking forward to seeing you there and hope you have a good day.